This is your news report and your second stimulus check update and your stimulus package update as of Friday, August 21st. First, I want to say thank you to all the subscribers that support me. I sincerely appreciate it so much, especially during a difficult year such as this. So again, thank you very much. Now let me get you the news. I'm going to give you a status update of the second stimulus check. I'm going to tell you which states will pay out the federal unemployment benefits from President Trump's executive orders and which states will not. Nancy Pelosi refuses to extend unemployment benefits in the post office bill that will be voted on tomorrow. We're going to give you more information on how to vote by mail for this upcoming election. We'll touch on the highlights of the Democratic National Convention, which ended yesterday. The Republican National Convention begins next week. The IRS, they started sending out interest payments to people who have received delayed tax return refunds or are still waiting on their refunds. COVID-19 cases have been staying steady near 44,000 cases. This is your Friday news, and happy Friday. Here's the status of the second stimulus check. The Republicans and Democrats, they both want and support a second stimulus check. The second stimulus check was in the Democrats' HEROES Act and the Republicans' HEALS Act. Both parties, they disagree on other issues, so there's currently a stalemate in the negotiations. The Republicans, they are coming up with a smaller stimulus package for $500 billion. That one does not include a second stimulus check. This does not eliminate the possibility of a second stimulus check because the Republicans, they're trying to pass some bills now and then pass some bills later. The Republicans, they want a piecemeal approach. The Democrats, they are against a piecemeal approach because they want one big comprehensive bill. The stimulus package negotiations, they will resume on September 8th. Let's review President Trump's executive order on the extension of federal unemployment benefits. The money to fund this executive order is coming from FEMA. States, they can apply for this money for their residents, or they can decide not to. The states that have applied and have been approved as of yesterday include, and we're going to go in alphabetical order, Arizona, Colorado, Idaho, Iowa, Louisiana, Maryland, Montana, Missouri, New Mexico, Oklahoma, and Utah. States that are expected to apply or are in the application process include Alabama, Alaska, Arkansas, Indiana, Kentucky, Massachusetts, Michigan, New Hampshire, North Carolina, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, Texas, and West Virginia. Mississippi is still undecided, but they thank President Trump for stepping up and trying to help American workers during this time. New York says that they will not be seeking this money for their residents because Governor Cuomo believes that this executive order issued by President Trump is illegal. Oregon is still deciding because they want clarification on the uncertainties of the implementation process. South Dakota is declining this money because the governor says that their state does not need it because 80% of the job losses in their state have been recovered. The governor says, "My administration is very grateful, but South Dakota is in the fortunate position not to accept it." The states, they apply for the money with FEMA. The states issue the payment. The benefits, they are retroactive to August 1st. You will either get $300 or $400 a week based on whether your state chips in the extra $100 or not. This will go on until funding runs out. We don't know how long the funding will last, but it is expected to last 3 to 6 weeks. The House of Representatives are voting on the post office bill tomorrow. More than 100 Democratic politicians, they issued a signed letter to their own Democratic leader in the House of Representatives, Nancy Pelosi, to attach a provision to the post office bill that would extend the unemployment benefits. But Nancy Pelosi refuses because she says that extending unemployment benefits would ultimately backfire in the overall scheme of things. Pelosi says, I don't think strategically it's where we should go right now. Because we're on the topic of voting and on the post office, we posted an article that gives you clear instructions on how to vote by mail for this upcoming election. Some states, they automatically send you the ballots in order to vote. In other states, you need to request it. Some states have specific deadlines and other states do not. We provide all that information to you for each state and give you instructions on the whole process. Please do not forget to vote, and I'll leave the link for that information down below. The Republican National Convention begins next week, and the Democratic National Convention ended yesterday. Joe Biden delivered such a good speech that even Fox News was commending him for it. Joe Biden made a promise that he's going to protect America and offered a positive vision for the future of this country. It's going to be a close election. I know you hear a lot of people talking about the polls, saying that the polls have Joe Biden in the lead by 9% or 10%. If you look at the details of those polls, usually it says that this is comprised of 1,000 people. However, I personally ran a poll, and that has racked up 61,000 people who voted. So 61,000 people voted, and the results say in favor of voting for Donald Trump at 38%, Joe Biden 42%, other 7%, and undecided 13%. You can still check out the poll. It's in our community section, and the results are displayed there. And I know a lot of you are waiting for your tax return refunds. It's not just the post office that's delayed, it's the IRS as well. The IRS, they started to issue out the interest payments for those delayed tax refunds. These interest payments will either be lumped with your tax refunds or issued as a separate payments. Let's take a look at the COVID-19 news. The U.S. reported 44,023 cases and 1,078 fatalities on Thursday. This is according to the Johns Hopkins University. It is expected that fatalities will begin to decrease starting next week because they are correlated with a lag against new cases. Vice President Mike Pence says that he believes that there will be a vaccine before the end of this year. That's the news for today. Please check out our article about mail-in voting, and please subscribe. I'll keep you updated. I'll save you some time, and I'll give you any advice when applicable. Thank you so much, and please stay safe.